Well, hey there, conscious business builders. If your business to-do list is a mile long and you're unclear of the best task for you to complete first, this episode is for you. I'm going to be sharing where you should focus your efforts in your business in order for it to grow and what to do with the less important tasks that still need to get done. Sound good? Let's dive in. Welcome to the Conscious Business Builders podcast. I'm your host, Laura Trotter, and I'm here to show you how you can make a bigger impact in this world through growing your conscious business online. Tune in for inspiring interviews with real-life conscious business builders, plus my own theories, thoughts, and tips for growing a thriving and profitable conscious business online. I'm all about making a bigger impact in our world, and I'd love to help you on your conscious business journey. So let's get started. There's always tasks to complete in business, whether it's an email to respond to, a social media post to create, client to serve, a course to finish, or a system to update. The list really does just go on and on and on and on. But our time to complete this infinite list is finite. Now, as educators, experts, consultants, and most likely solopreneurs, it's no surprise that many of us can feel overwhelmed and even downright confused when it comes to choosing where to work on what particular day in our conscious businesses. Do we chase leads? Do we build automated funnels? Do we record a live video in social media? Or do we snap up a podcast episode? Or do we get started on creating that new course that's in our heads and it's just busting to get out? Where's the most effective place for us to focus? When we don't have a clear path forward in our business, and by that I mean a clear business plan with very clear goals and quarterly targets, and this doesn't need to be sophisticated, by the way, and I'll show you and talk about how to build a concise business plan in future episodes. But if we don't have this, it's really easy to get lost and unsure of the best place to focus. And before you think I've got all my ducks in a row, there's been times in my business when I haven't had that clarity and I have gone around in circles and I haven't been working on the right thing. When I get overwhelmed, my go-to is to create content. But is that really the best place for me to be spending my time when my evergreen funnels for some of my offerings aren't finalized? Creating content like this podcast episode, it's my happy place and it does add value in my business, but it's not the most important task for me to do in my business and I shouldn't be prioritizing it over everything else. But when I do get overwhelmed and when I do get confused and when I do lack that clarity, it's kind of where I go because it's the easiest thing for me to do. It's the thing I find the most fun in my business. But when I'm doing it at the expense of everything else, that's a warning sign for me. Come on, Laura, step back, focus, and get on your clear path. And once you've got your value-adding tasks done in your business, then you can create some more content. So, the most important tasks in my business and in your business too are what I call value-added tasks. Now, everything we do in our business, it either adds value or it doesn't add value to our clients and customers. Knowing if the tasks we're working on are value-added, value-enabling, or non-value-added helps us in our decision to continue to allocate time and resources to the task. Now, who determines the value of a task? It's pretty easy. The customer does. So let me explain further. But before I do, I just want to let you know where I gained all this knowledge. It was actually during my 2 years working as a senior engineer in a Lean Six Sigma capacity with BHP, where I learned all about business improvement principles. And it was through the process of leading multi-million-dollar improvement projects at the largest industrial site in Australia where I became really familiar with the different types of tasks in business and the impact that focusing on the wrong task could have. Now, of course, the projects I was working on were improving the recovery of copper in a tank or reducing the time it took for a maintenance team to replace a valve. But the principles are still the same in small business. So when I started my very own conscious business, Sustainababy, back in 2009, I took this knowledge with me and I ran my business as efficiently as possible. These days, I really love passing on these principles to my business coaching clients and my podcast listeners too, so you're going to benefit from this knowledge as well. Let me talk about the different types of tasks. Now, when it comes to business, not all tasks were created equal. Some tasks result in direct value to your customer. Others result in direct value to your business by building systems and improving efficiencies over time. Now, a simple way to classify tasks is by using the Lean Six Sigma definitions of value. Now, by classifying tasks according to value, it's so much easier to determine where to focus your efforts. So the first classification of tasks is value-added tasks. Now, these are tasks that customers, if directly asked, would be willing to pay for. Now, some examples of value-adding tasks might include delivery of business coaching sessions to a client, delivery of training material to a client, and that could be an online course or a live workshop, or a customer receiving a delivery of goods purchased online. There may be many steps and tasks involved in the delivery of these products or services, but at the end of the day, the task that the client or customer would be willing to pay for in these examples is actually receiving the product or service. Therefore, it's the most important task. It's the value-added tasks in our businesses. Now, not all value-added tasks need to be performed by you in your business. For example, the customer doesn't need to receive a personal delivery by you from the physical products they've purchased from you online. But you do need to be aware that the customer prioritizes that task above all the other steps in the process. So you want to make sure it's as seamless an experience for them as possible. Now, the second type of tasks classified using Lean Six Sigma is value-enabling tasks. Now, value-enabling tasks are those deemed necessary for the product or service to be delivered, but they are not directly valuable for the customer. Now, some examples of value-enabling tasks include packing up an online order of goods or unpacking wholesale stock and receipting it into your business inventory system if you're a products-based business. It could be writing and filming your online course. It could be performing a strategy call or a sales call with a business coaching lead. Value-enabling tasks could be setting up sales funnels for online education products or setting up and monitoring performance of Facebook ads or recording and transcribing podcasts or writing and publishing blog posts or even building a social media following. I mean, the list of value-enabling tasks can seem to go on and on and on. And it's actually in many of these tasks where we get bogged down because we feel that they're so important, but at the end of the day, they're not what the customer is really paying for. So we can get a bit blinkered by them and lost in them at sometimes, overvaluing them and giving them more time than what they need to be given. Now, the third type of tasks is non-value-added tasks. And these are simply tasks that don't fall into the value-added or value-enabling categories. So they're classified as non-value-added tasks. They add no value whatsoever to the customer. So some examples of non-value-added tasks just include things like, social media scrolling and commenting on other people's pages, or just simply filing your emails. Your customer doesn't care if you do that or not. With all that in mind, how do you choose which task to prioritize? Now, when it comes to choosing where to focus efforts in your business on any particular day or week, it really pays to consider if the task is value-adding, value-enabling, or whether or not the task specifically needs to be completed by you. Now, if the task is value-adding and requires you to complete it, that task is obviously of the highest priority. So an example of this type of task in my business is my business coaching sessions with my Conscious Business Circle members. I can't delegate that service to anyone else in my business. But what about all the other tasks on the to-do list? Surely they're important too. Now, value-enabling tasks that must be completed by you also take precedence, but not at the expense of value-adding tasks. An example of this type of task in my business is recording this podcast episode. Now, there's surely other important tasks that need to be undertaken regularly in your business, but they fall outside the value-adding and must be completed by you category. Now, for these tasks, it pays to put them all under a virtual microscope and determine if they can be deleted, automated, or delegated. If the task is not adding value to the customer or your business, it should be deleted. If the task is value enabling but does not need to be completed by you, can it be delegated or automated in any way? Can you install an automatic booking system for clients to book in directly with you rather than having emails go back and forth? Can you employ a virtual assistant to keep on top of your invoice and customer inquiries? An example of this type of task in my business is my podcast editing and uploading. It's a value-enabling task and it's integral to my lead capture system, and it's important for my business to grow. But this editing and uploading to my website, that specific part of the task, it doesn't need to be completed by me. Surely, I'm preparing the content and delivering this content and recording it, but I'm not required to edit it and upload it. So let's wrap all this up. When determining which tasks to prioritize in your business to ensure the most effective use of your time, I suggest you classify them as either value-adding, value-enabling, or non-value adding, and then question if the task must only be completed by you. By automating, delegating, or eliminating tasks continually, your business will become more efficient over time. It will be able to serve more clients and customers, and it will help you to make a much bigger impact as a result. So, over to you. I'd love you to have a think about what are the value-adding tasks in your business and what tasks in your business you can automate, delegate, or delete today to set you up for growth and a bigger impact tomorrow. And of course, if you're ready for personalised support to help your conscious business make a bigger impact, book your conscious coaching taster sessions or apply to join my conscious business circle and work more intensively with me. I would look forward to helping you to grow your business and make a bigger impact in the world. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to the Conscious Business Builders podcast. I'm Laura Trotter. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a review in iTunes. And if you're keen to continue the conversation, head on over to lauratrotter.com. It's there where you can find all my best tips to help you grow your conscious business online and apply to work directly with me. I'll catch you there.